Me on stage.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Is everyone able to get on? Awesome. I'm excited to talk with you a little bit tonight, just to hear about your Hampton experience, and then of course we can talk a little bit about the journey of becoming one and journeying into, parenthood and just the whole process of becoming you and becoming what you have become today as a couple. And so I would like for you to begin just by sharing a little bit about yourselves, and your connections to Hampton, and then how your connection to Hampton led you to your now partner. So whoever wants to start, ladies first, I guess. We could have you go first. So Deja, would
Sure. So I am class of 2020, Onyx 11. So I came to Hampton for Admitted Students Day in 2016 in February. And that is where I met this handsome one right here in person. And we actually, I think, met on GroupMe like before we even got to Hampton, and we just like started communicating. And I feel like that was like really the start, but we were super involved on campus, and it just shaped us a lot.
Miss Rose, would you like to
Well, hello everyone. I came to Hampton, I guess we have to tell the age of 1981. Freshman, I did not meet this handsome guy until my sophomore year. He was a senior. I was a cheerleader. He was a football player. Football players and cheerleaders couldn't converse, so I never paid attention to athletes.
She stalked me.
Oh, be quiet. And so we were in cheerleading practice, and I was doing a stunt, and then he and his friends walked by, and I said, "It's a cute little bow legs, right?" I couldn't see the face though. And then, yeah, it was one thing led to another. He looked down, and then my God said, "He's looking." So I was shy, and even though I was a cheerleader, I was shy as far as with guys and everything. But one thing led to another. He said he was going to stop by, come see me or something. He did, and we joked about it. And then one time he came by, and I said, "He's nice." I used to think football players were like, try to be around all the girls and do everything. I said, "I'd never date an athlete." And but it ended up, he was kind of like quiet, kind of shy. And I'm the talkative one. So I guess we're like a yin and yang, and it kind of worked. He would tell the story different, like he just tried to say I stalked him. No, he walked through the gym while I was having practice, right? I didn't go look at football practice. Yeah. And I was real active. I was Miss Freshman. Well, yeah, I wasn't. But I was in student government, cheerleading, doing all the things. So I think he heard about me beforehand. Okay.
Awesome. I love that. Now I want to hear from the gentleman. So, Kenneth, you can go first. Tell your version.
Yeah, for sure. So, like the roses, I was stalked first. No, I'm just playing. But no, for real. So I think it was GroupMe. It was December 20th of 2015. I remember when this young lady introduced herself in the GroupMe. And, she said something about like, I think we should all try to get to know one another, try to develop genuine relationships. And I was like, well, let me try to develop a genuine relationship with the person who said it first. So got to know her, met her, talked to her. We were cool in the first couple months, and then over time we just started really, getting to know each other. And probably in the date within the first month of being on campus. The story goes up and down, but long story short, that's how I met this amazing woman who is, the mother of my little girl on the way. And, I'm just grateful to be next to her at the end of the day. So yeah, that's pretty much how we met on Hampton's campus. We did like SGA together. We did SRT originally together. A number of organizations, Leadership Institute, Honors College, and over time just, found our own individual paths and then came back together.
I love that. Mr. Rose, are you ready to
Okay, we'll try to keep it short. But anyway, I met her in Holland Hall and I was a football player, and she was a cheerleader. And they used to do the little skits in the forum area. And I walked by one day, and I noticed her. She smiled and all that kind of stuff and whatever. And I'm kind of laid back, so I don't really, I didn't, go to her right away. I just kind of shield a little bit and just see her again. And I think one time she said that I suppose I came by to see her, and I never did go by. And think she said that. Then when I think she came by, and it was Jerome, a guy named Jerome. You told him, they used to call me Bushead. And you told him that you said you was gonna come by, and I said, oh man, I forgot where to go. But I ended up going by, and when I went by, then the sparks kind of hit, and we just kind of hit it off from there.
I love that. So my next question for you is, what do you both value most about your relationship? So just in general, what would you say is the thing that you value most about the other person? So whoever wants to go first can. We can stick with the ladies first. Gentlemen say.
So I'm sorry.
You got it.
Okay, so I'll go this time. What I value the most out of our relationship, we've been married now over 30 some years, right? And to this day, he is still my best friend. We laugh, we joke. One of the things I would say to the younger couple is no matter what, never go to bed mad. The last thing we say every night, no matter what happens in the day, is I love you, good night, and we wake up the same way. We talk through everything. I talk a little bit more than he does, but over the years, that's what kept it together. And I'm so nervous because we didn't talk about doing this. I have no idea what he's going to do. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to. All right, but anyway, and I would say over the years, that's what's kept us. We've had a lot of friends that have gotten married, got divorced, all of that, and they always say, how do you guys do this? And I said, well, he really is my best friend. All the other sparks, I thought he was cute, all those things that attract you, but it has to be so much deeper than that. And then once the children came in, after we had our first child, oh my gosh, and oh, you guys just wait. Oh, it is the most beautiful thing. And it's so amazing to think, wow, that's a combination of us. And it's such a beautiful thing. So yeah, it's not always rosy, no pun intended with the last name, but it is, as long as you talk it through, we still have fun, we laugh, we joke. As you see, we joke all the time, but and just try to make sure it doesn't get dull, and we keep it real. You just got to keep it real.
I would say for me, the thing that I value most in our relationship is we're always constantly trying to understand each other and be each other's like rock and support system. But even when we don't understand something about each other, we're constantly trying to always have a deeper understanding of one another's heart and emotions and mind. And I think also pushing each other to be better spiritually is something that I really enjoy.
That's so good. And I love that you said that. I definitely want to touch on that later. But before I do, I want to hear the men's side to this. So, yeah.
And that's what happens as you age. The memory.
What was the question?
It's okay. It happens to me now at 22. The question is, what do you value most about your relationship? Just in general, what do you value most about
Probably just being truthful and, laughing and, and being yourself, I mean, I can come home or she can come home and she doesn't have to say anything. I already know. I don't have to ask her how her day went. And so, we kind of go back and forth with that, and she knows how I am, and, she knows, certain things that I like a certain way and she likes a certain way. And so, as we said now, we're best friends. And so it's easy, to get along, just like this COVID thing been going on for 8-9 months, and it's just been us. And, nobody comes in our house. she tells me 500 times when I go outside, make sure I have a mask on, don't touch anybody, wash your hands. And, it's almost like a motherly type deal, but, I kind of used to it. And like I said, now I know, that I'll do anything for her and she'll do anything for me. And like I said, when we had our kids, I just heard that you're having a baby girl. I mean, that changed everything. And so our kids is the world to us, and just to see, through them, us. And so it's a great feeling. But anyway, this dog is trying to get over here. So if you see a black dog come here, just ignore. But anyway, it's probably the biggest thing is just being real and being honest.
Sometimes when this doesn't work, I'm sorry, I had to do this. I have to remind him of this and do this station. I say, you asked me. I didn't ask him. He asked me to marry him, right? So that's how that goes. Like,
as it should, as it should. I love it. I love to hear it.
I didn't know
also
her family was crazy. So.
Oh, do you have something to add on to that? I would love to hear.
No, I didn't know her family was crazy.
Mr. Rose, I appreciate your candor and how truthful you are in your conversations. I really do appreciate this. You real through the whole thing. I appreciate that. I really do. What's one thing I can say? I think the best thing about Deja and I's relationship, truthfully, is our communication. Like you all, this is my best friend. I mean, we could be talking about politics, sports, The Bachelor, stuff that probably y'all would look at like y'all really talking about. This is just honestly my best friend. And truthfully, our communication. I just value it more than anything. Our ability to resolve our issues with each other. She irritates me one day. I'll tell her, like, you irritated me today. Like, you did this and I did not like it. I did not rock with it. And she'll tell me, like, well, this is how I felt. I'm sorry, but get over it, basically.
Do not say it.
Okay. But and then vice versa. Like, when I'm like, hey, like, she'll say, like, yeah, you irritated the crap out of me today. And I'm like, what did I do? And then she'll tell me, and then I'm like, okay, fair enough. I hear you. I'm sorry. And then we'll be fine. Like, every issue that we've had, even though, like, it's been very monumental and, I mean, major to the point where I was just like, ooh, we've gotten through it and we've communicated. And, that's something that I just can't put a price on. It's someone who I can just be myself with and talk through things with. I value that more than anything in the world. So I got that in this person.
That's beautiful. I love to hear both of you all talk about the importance of, first of all, like, friendship being that foundation. Like, I don't know if a relationship can survive if you're not friends first. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I might not, be feeling you like that in love type thing. Like, that comes and goes, I'm sure. You're not always like, oh, like, I'm in love with you, like, all the time. But even in those moments you may not be, you still, like, oh, this is my ride or die best friend. Like, you ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Like, I'm mad at you. Sit down over there. We'll talk in a minute. I need some space. But at the end of the day, you know how to come back and just be able to have that that foundation, which I think is amazing. And I think it's something that many people, I think, are looking for, or if they have it, they really treasure it. So can you tell me just a little bit about your favorite memory together while you were at Hampton? Just try to pick from one. I'm sure there's many, especially because y'all just graduated, so I'm sure it's fresh in your memory. So I'll let you all go first, because then it might take them a minute to remember.
I don't know. What's my favorite memory? What's the thing that just makes me think Deja?
Like something that you'll just never forget.
There's a million of them. I mean, I really can't tell you one that just like sticks out amazing. Like, wow. Does that have to be on campus or just in the vicinity of Hampton? Like,
yeah, like on campus, just while you or during your time at Hampton, whichever one is easier.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna say mine. So I think this was freshman year, and he was allowed to have his car because he had his credits. And so one day we literally just laid on the roof of his car watching the stars and talking. And that's like one of the memories that I will always cherish the most, because we were so like just fresh in Hampton mode, and it was just nice. It was like talking to my best friend, but we were literally in front of Virginia Cleveland Hall, just parked there, like looking up at the stars. And yeah, that's all my memories.
Wow, I forgot about that altogether. That's crazy. You're absolutely right. That was a great day. That was a great day. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I remember that. It was yesterday.
So, is that your favorite too, or are you gonna give us the new one?
No. I'll say my favorite memory of this lady to my right would probably be, I mean, like I said, there's a million of them. The one that sticks out the most to me, and she'll probably just be like, really, that's the one? It was freshman year, and it was after we had just kind of like told our friends, like, yeah, we're officially dating. And just the walk back, like you don't remember necessarily like what you said or, what was done, but you remember how you feel. I remember that moment being like one of the most peaceful and like happiest moments, where it was just like, yeah, we're officially dating. And like on the way back to her dorm, just walking her. And as a lot of people know, walking back is freezing cold on that water, but you still feel good. You still feel warm next to this person. So I just remember walking back with her just being one of the best things and one of the best memories ever, because it just felt right. It just felt right. And that's how I knew, like, so far.
That's so sweet. I love how sentimental y'all are. I think that's beautiful that you have like such attention to detail within the memories, and like you remember exactly in that moment how you felt, where you were, like what you were doing, what you were talking about. I think that's beautiful. But
it only comes out on occasions. It's not a reoccurring thing. It's like it has to be prompted for me to get my gears going. But if I'll probably be like, I don't know. I mean, I always rock with you, but we have to think about it. Then it comes out. It comes out then.
Yes, well, I'm glad that y'all remembered that, because I think that is such a sweet memory to have. But I'm ready to hear from you all. I don't know if you guys have one that you can specifically choose from, since you've been together for such a long period of time. But you were in undergrad together for how many years before you graduated? Just one or two?
Two. I was a sophomore. He was a senior. So we was only there. One
we were together. We weren't together. Well, actually, half a semester.
Yeah, because we really started when we had that time. It was like getting ready to be basketball season, so football season was over. So we really only had that one semester. That's why we had to really think about that one semester on campus, and then we continued.
She knew who I was.
No, I didn't. No, you thought I did.
She knew.
Okay, so anywho, I guess then we'll tell you, we have a funny moment. Most of our real sentimental things have come over the years, and we were talking about it. I was a tell one, he was a tell one. The funny one he would tell, which really is the most memorable, he just won't tell it right. So, but I'll let him do it and get away with it. That's how you compromise, right? So the most memorable other than that was us getting married on campus and in the chapel, and having all of our families there. We had to pick all our friends. We couldn't make sure. So there was so many people around the altar. It was like 8 bridesmaids, 8 groomsmen, and just having both of our parents there, all of our families, the waterfront. It was a beautiful day, and we rode around campus. We thought about little places, like sometimes when we go to Ogden, and we used to sit on the steps outside of Ogden, on the side, not up front, and then just riding around that day when we got married. And we got married in the chapel, and just looking at the waterfront, just thinking, wow, this is where we met. We took maybe one class together, and my wedding day was probably the most sentimental one, because even the reception, we went from the chapel, rode around the waterfront, and we had our reception in the Catherine House. The Catherine House didn't look so much right now, but back then it was like, oh, this is a little waterfront, and we used to do receptions and stuff there. So that was a very, very emotional day to think that I met my soulmate, my best friend, and then we got married in the chapel. Who would have thought, right? And so that was that.
Okay.
But the most memorable one.
Okay. I'm gonna need some help. What's the name of the building?
See, Armstrong Slater. This
Okay,
is what
Armstrong
happened.
Slater.
She doesn't
Okay,
have 3 hours, guys.
So just to be short, one day I was playing football, and after practice, I went to Armstrong Slater, and they used to have like little plays, thing upstairs. So I went upstairs, and me and one of my friends, Jack Duffin, he was a basketball player.
People's names.
But it don't matter. But anyway, we were top, and we were just laughing, kicking it, and just enjoying ourselves. And then all of a sudden, it was a couple of females that came behind us, and they started talking. And I'm not gonna name their name. They started talking, and then I was laughing and doing whatever, so and so. Then all of a sudden, I turned around and I saw Sylvia. Sylvia had came up there, and she was watching us. She was watching me interact and talking with this young lady or whatever. And then she came, and then Jack, I didn't say his name. Jack, my boy, he said, he called me. He said, Don, there goes Sylvia, there goes Sylvia. And I turned around, and she was staring at us. And then when I turned around, she took off like a track star, and she ran out the building. She ran out the building and ran, and I never seen her run that fast, and ran down the sidewalk, and I ran after her, and I chased her. And she was kind of,
I was upset.
She was upset
because the part that he left out is after practice, they were going home. And so I was going to the play with my friends. So I said, we're going to the play. So we go to the play. I go up to the balcony, and I open the balcony and look over and say, oh, that don't look like home. And I'm sitting up there, and he and his friends, they're sitting up there. Yeah. To this day, I don't like that person. And so his friend said, there's Sylvia. And I let him see me. And then he said, Sylvia. And I ran down the steps, and I ran from Armstrong Slater.
He ran about 100 yards.
And I looked back. I knew he was chasing me, and I ran from there all the way to Ogden, all the way to the steps of Ogden. He was running after me. Oh. I said, y'all know I milked that for about a month. I got everything I wanted anytime I wanted. At the end of the year, I even got the car. So it was just like, yes, I did. So anywho, but yeah, that was that. It was innocent. I found out later through his friends. It really was, he didn't, it wasn't what I thought it was, but I let him know. Don't play.
Oh, no. Also,
it's not.
This is my last thing. Also, at that time, whenever a nice looking young lady would look, and if I turned around and looked one time, she would just go crazy. But anyway, she has a side of her that to this day, it still is that same way.
And 37 years later, we're still together, and I've had no issues. We have no issues.
Wow. I mean, we just got to clap it up for that, right? Like.
Oh, man. That was a great story. I enjoyed that.
It was. I love it. I love how y'all the personalities, it was so strong. Like, you could just see exactly what you said earlier about how y'all are yin and yang. You really are. Like, I love to observe that between couples. So I would like to know, what would you say is like your strength as a unit? Like, what makes your unit special, and what like gives it strength? Like, what would you say helps to fuel and strengthen your relationship, even when it may be difficult, to keep that like what would you call it? Like the flame in the relationship going? How do you like continue to strengthen it, and how do you keep that flame and that love going throughout the challenges and obstacles that you might face? So the ladies want to go first. Whoever wants to go.
I feel like what kind of keeps the spark or the flame alive is just always trying to learn something new about each other. And so I feel like even though I can say, oh, I know everything about you, I know like your tendencies and everything, I do find new things that like make me happy or irritate me or like give me joy or give me grief. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize those things before, but I know them now. And it's learning something new every day about somebody.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, the way you spun it. Okay. Oh, all means, go ahead.
Well, just wait your turn. I want to hear your side, but I want to hear Miss Rose. What do you say is the thing that keeps the spark going after 30 years being together?
Like the 30 years. What really keeps it? A lot of stuff. I remember all the time my reasons why. As again I say, because we're best friends, no matter what, I know that he is going to be there for me through thick and thin, through everything. The spark is, we have so many memories. I mean, so many with the children, so with us, and so many wonderful times and vacations. Over the years, we just built up a lot. And what keeps the spark is that, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. We're going to either enjoy this journey and we're going to enjoy this ride. You can't let it get dull. We like a lot of the same things. The fact that he was in the sports, if I didn't like sports, that would be a problem, right? I'm big on family events and having families together, and he just works with it. He likes to keep me happy. Oh, true statement. Happy wife, happy life. And so if I'm happy, he's going to be happy, and vice versa. And it's peaceful. It's not a controlling thing. We're obviously we're best friends and we get along, but we do enjoy a lot of the same things. And we talk and we play and we like to travel and live your life. I love to have family. I love to laugh. We like to joke. We play a lot. We play a lot, and it keeps us straight. I have friends that give you. Oh, I'll keep it A-rated. I was getting ready to go somewhere else. Like if you focus too much on that part, over time it is about so many. Okay, maybe I shouldn't go there. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I love this this rare moment that we're getting, moment in time where you're just completely like giving everything that I wanted. Like I love to get like this natural raw reaction emotion to my questions. So if it's okay, I want to transition to the men's side because I do want to get to one of the other topics at hand. So men, what would you say is the main thing that helps you to keep that spark and that flame going in the relationship with your significant other?
You can go first.
That's a good one. But I guess the biggest thing is, let's say if Sylvia is uptight or got the things on her mind, I can sense it, I can feel it, and I know when to say certain things or when to, bring some laughter to it or kind of change the subject. And so a lot of times, I don't like to argue. I don't like, being, being conflicted or whatever. And so a lot of times what I do is, I know when to talk, I know when not to talk, and I know when to listen. I know when not to. But a lot of times she doesn't know. But sometimes I kind of tune her out. but anyway, we just know one another, and like I said, I know when something's wrong, and so I know when to be there for. And so you're talking 37 years of marriage, but we're together another what? 4 years, so 40 years, and it's crazy. And I see a lot of my friends, a lot of them, most of them are not most of them, but a lot of them have been divorced or separated, this and that. And so, that's not even a piece of in our inventory. So we're just excited. I'm just, happy go lucky and enjoy every day and live your life.
Well said, sir. Well said. I'm gonna learn from you. I think the thing smart. Keep it smart. It goes back to what I value most, which is communication. I love how I'm 22, so I'm still growing and I'm still learning who I am as a person, right? So one thing that she says about me is that I'm fickle and that I change my mind a lot. So, I can have a random thought the next day about something else, or like a different career path or alternate, lifestyle or something else like that, right? And she will just listen, like I appreciate how she can handle very uncomfortable conversations. I can talk to her about anything. If I'm really irritated about something, or if I'm questioning something, or if, my spiritual journey is off and, I feel like, I don't understand why God's doing this or why this, that. She keeps me grounded. She keeps me rooted, but she also lets me express myself. And that always makes me feel drawn to her, because it's like, no matter what I think, no matter what I say, I know you are with me. You're like my ride or die, because you just let me be me. You let me go through these changes. You let me, explore these different thoughts and ideas or these random concepts. Like one day I'll just be like, let's go drive to some random place in the city. She's like, okay. So just the fact that she just lets me be me and to let me, I guess, kind of like get all my crazy thoughts out there and tolerate it. I just always be like, yeah, there's no one else in the world who could deal with this crap. So I'm just glad that she puts up with the most raw, ugly, and beautiful parts of me. I just appreciate that part, and that's what makes me always drawn to her.
I think that's so sweet. I love how just how beautifully you all describe your love for each other. I think that is a gift in itself, because sometimes, and this is also going to transition to my next question, people on social media will say things like, or I think is kind of like a trend, like you don't necessarily see, specifically with men, always expressing their love verbally, like, man, like, oh, you keep that to yourself, oh, you soft, like, or what's the new word, oh, you simp for her, what like all these different terms in 2020, please, like, Bisbee, like, no, but just talking about, oh, let me explain what simp means. I don't know if y'all know what simp means. I'm sorry. I just assumed. So basically, Deja, you're very eloquent. Would you like to explain?
I've heard the word, but to be honest, I don't necessarily know what it means either completely. So.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like 2020, like I'm basically not even hip with all the new things. But from my understanding, to simp for someone means that you would just do anything for them, whether they would give that same level of love, and give that same level of attention back to you in return. Basically, like being like a doormat to someone, like it's not a good thing. Like it's like completely like basically about one-sided relationships. So I like how both of you show that partnerships are still out there. It's still possible. And relationships should not be 50-50. It's 100% from each person, bringing their best to the table. So how would you say that the person that is your SO brings out the best in you? And how would you say they have helped you grow throughout the years? So whoever wants to go first. Ladies first, of course.
Obviously, bring out the best in me. And let's grow. In the beginning, we were both of us were very career oriented, just come on, we're going to take over the world, right? And we stayed engaged for 4 years because, we didn't know where our careers were going to take us. Stop, you're so much. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to keep it focused. Oh, I can't get it anyway. Um, so I was trying to figure out finance or law, and then he was trying to go into football. And he said to me once, he said, Sylvia, if I never get drafted, however many teams it is in the country, all 28 are going to have to turn me down before I give up my dream of being a professional football player. And I said, wow. I saw how he worked. I saw how he focused on that dream. And then myself, I wanted to go to law school. And I said, how is this going to work? You know, he's chasing football, I'm chasing this. And when I knew we were really good, I got into my dream law school. I got into Georgetown. He ended up having his first opportunity. He went to Canada to play, Kansas City, but then ultimately ended up in the Canadian League. And we had to live in separate places. I was in DC, and then we were engaged. Then we got married. Then he went there, I went there. We've had this what you call a modern commuter marriage. Mm-hmm. And our friends used to say, "How do you do that? How do you do that? You know, how do you trust?" I said, "Well, if we don't have trust at this point in our relationship, what do we have?" I want him not to just be happy with us together, but he has to be fulfilled as an individual. I have to be fulfilled as an. Neither one of us should have to give up our individual dreams in order to have a life together. And what I loved about us, and still to this day, we were both able to have our careers, and we used to, be apart. Then we got together and be apart, get together, and then as he said, I used to act jealous, but I really wasn't jealous because I wasn't worried. I used to act like I was, but I wasn't. But to be able to trust that you're playing football, and you got groupies hanging around and this, that, and the other. And my friends, how do you do? I said, I'm not worried. He knows what he has. And I knew what I had. And we weren't going to let anything break that apart. And that test right there let me know that we can make it through anything. And if the love is there, the trust is there. You can't have love without trust. You have to your whole entire life. And trust each other. Don't listen to the noise because you know what you have. If that makes sense.
So good. Everything you're saying, I'm in your amen corner. I'm just trying to hold it in because I can get real preachy. Since I am a strat comm major, I said that right, so I can just start to talk. So I'm just gonna let y'all speak. But I love it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I love everything you said. I think that, I think it was beautifully said. So Deja, you want to follow up?
I don't want to go after that.
I know,
right? Can you remind me of the question again?
Yeah, so I was just basically asking, how does the other person bring out the best in you, and how does he help you to grow?
I think how he brings out the best in me, I got it.
I'm just curious to hear this.
Is honestly, he accepts me and understands me for who I am. I'm very emotional driven in a lot of ways, and I think that can be hard to navigate or frustrating. We talk about how we both process emotions differently, and he lets me process. He constantly is learning me, and he makes me want to be the best me spiritually and financially and emotionally. And a lot of that, I was the oldest of 5, so I never felt like I could really need or depend on other people. And he kind of lets me have that soft spot of depending on him while still also taking care of myself and being
That's really good.
Surprised at these answers.
Because I'm hearing a lot of this stuff, and it's yeah.
I love it. Y'all are adorable. But I think it's so good what you just said about him being able to help you grow and learning how to not be what I think a lot of people in the world have this understanding for women. If you are in a relationship, from both of your answers, I'm thinking about you, people think, oh, you can't have it all, you can't be independent, or you can't be you have to be independent, you can't be dependent on a man any way, shape, or form, or else you won't be able to accomplish your purpose and your goals. and your aspirations. You need to be alone to be able to do those things. And then also, like, you can't be vulnerable in that way. And a lot of people fear vulnerability. So being able to like overcome those things and actually talk about the positive sides of being your most vulnerable self with the other person and how that makes you a better human being and ultimately helps the relationship move forward and grow. That is something that I think a lot of people don't recognize and don't discuss enough. So, men, you ready to add to the conversation? How does your significant other, soon to be wife and wife, how do they help to make you better men that are well equipped for marriage and the preparation for marriage? So, how are they helping you to grow in that and through that and into who you're becoming?
I told you this dog is get back. Okay. Sorry. We got a crazy dog. Okay, so anyway, I think your question. What was the question?
Look, I love y'all. Look, this whole conversation has been absolutely honest, 1,000%, and I'm so here for it. So let me get to the point, right? So the question is, how does she make you better?
Okay, so I know when we were your age, and you guys, I guess, in the low 20s, when we were your age, we knew both of us had a lot of dreams and aspirations and goals, and we knew what. You want to let me know? We had, similar goals and what have you, and she wanted to, before law school, she didn't tell you this, but she wanted to go to New York, and she wanted to be a model. She wanted to be a model before law school, and she ended up going. And like I said myself, I wanted to play professional football, and I left Hampton and got all these awards and this and that. But come draft day, I was so naive. I was thinking that I was going to get drafted, and so she was by me waiting for the call, and I never got the call. And I end up, setting my goals, and I had a plan, and I ended up being a free agent, and I ended up playing in the CFL for 5 and the NFL for 3. And the whole time we made sacrifices. When she went to law school, she was in Georgetown in D.C. When we got married, the next day we went on a honeymoon. 3 days later, I went to football camp, and I was in Canada, and she was in D.C. And we had just got married, and that's a sacrifice. And so to be able to do that, it's a lot of trust. And during that whole time, and we went through a number of things, and I can go, because it's talking about 30-some years, but everything that we went after, everything, it may not happen that day or that year, but it happened, and we went after, and we've done all those type of things, and now it's to the point now we're looking at, okay, we're not finished because right now it's still a lot to offer, and we've done a lot of different things, and so I'm excited about the opportunity, and this is a new time. I'm looking forward to more things, and right now, even though she's not going to you do the math, 30-some years in age, we get to a certain point, but it's not over. It's a lot more left. And so, I constantly, support her and whatever the goal that she has, and she constantly supports me, and we're not done. And like I said, my thing now is to stay healthy, and and I still feel that we're there, and the sky's the limit. I think it's nothing that we cannot do or cannot be, and with our children, it's the same thing, and so we kind of inspire that to them as well. But we're excited, and also just want you to know that Deja, our first born was named Deja. And so that's a great feeling. So I'm looking at you. I said, "That's Deja." Right, I know. That's what the whole time we've been talking. I can see, and I know he's thinking, "Oh, that's so sweet." Okay, but anyway, I don't know if I answered the question, but that's in the middle. This is what happens as we get older. We should laugh at our parents. Middle way through the question, through the thing, he's going, "What was the question?" Keep talking. But it's okay.
You answered it beautifully. I love the responses that you two are giving because it just has so much wisdom in it and so much substance, and you can tell it's been like fuel through the fire. Like, you know, when they say like you go through the fire and it like makes you come out better on the other side, like I can tell that y'all relationship has just been turned into like this beautiful diamond, and it's showing, and I love it. But Kenneth, would you like to share your experience with us?
Yeah. So I think the thing that I appreciate about you most and the way that you make me better, you just always believe in me. You just always believe. So before I was pre-med in undergrad, and I was set on being a doctor and everything like that. She told me one day, she said, "I really think that you're called to be in education." I'm like, education? Mind you, this, like, we had our ups and downs in college and everything like that. So this was a time, you know, before the real rocky stuff happened. And she was just like, "Yeah, I think you belong in education." So I'm thinking to myself, what? No, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm determined to be a doctor. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But she just saw something in me more than, you know, I really saw myself in. You know, her dad's an educator and everything like that. So I talked with him and everything and got his wisdom and stuff like that. And I can just say, like, she just believes in me and through it all. Like, the other day I said, you know, I want to, because I love to cook. I love to cook. And, you know, I was like, I think I want to, you know, drop education and go into culinary school. And she was just like, "I'll support you 1,000%. She said, "If you want to do it," she said, "you're really good at cooking. So if you really want to, I mean," she said, "I'll tell you if you suck, but you can cook. So I support you. And if this is what you really want to do, if you want to move to Panama, if you want to go to Greece and study for a year, I'm with you." And that just motivates me every morning. Like, there are some days, especially like being an educator, and Dr. Rose and both of you guys know this. Some days you wake up, you're like, I do not want to go deal with all these personalities with these kids who think that they're grown and they know more than I do in the subject or just in life. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, well in wisdom. I know more than you do. So I wake up every morning, some days like, I just do not want to get out of bed. I do not want to deal with these, you know, little girls and their attitudes. But every morning, I'm saying, no, look, there are some of my students who come out crazy at the mouth. And I remind them, I'm not your friend, I'm your teacher. But I don't complain too much because I just have the motivation to do it every day, you know, for her and my family. Because I know that she believes in me. And I know that she's just going to support me through everything. And she just makes me better just in that regard. Just her being herself and her just believing in me. Every day I'm just motivated to be the best person I can be and be the best father, the best fiance, the best future husband, the best educator, the best Christian, the best everything I can be, because I know that I've got her behind me. So, yeah.
I love that. I think that's so beautifully said. Y'all are like the epitome of like Whitley and Dwayne vibes that I'm getting right now. Like, first of all, I just had flashbacks to that episode where Dwayne was like, "These students need to get it together," and like that's what you sounded like in that moment. And I love that you all have that experience of like the HBCU love and just how you represent it so well. So before I transition into the conversation about our lovely HBCU, the last question I have for you all, I have a couple last questions, but the first one is, what are your love languages, and what have you learned from each other's love language over the years? Like, how have you learned to like love each other in the way that each other desires to be loved, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can hear you, Miss Rose.
When you say love language, what do you do?
Oh, the love languages, like the 5 love languages, is acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and I'm missing one. What is it? Quality time. Yes. So out of all of those, quality time, words of affirmation, I'm putting y'all on the spot. Acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. What would you say is the main love language for your partner, and how have you learned to love them in that way over the years?
One of the five is what you want us to talk about. Is that what you're saying?
Like the main one for your SO, yes. What would you say is the main one that you think is something that stands out for your husband that he really appreciates?
He said it like you're telling to say it one more time. Just say the 5 things one more time. But okay, say it one more time, please. The five things.
That's for you too.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be okay. Okay. Well, anyway, for me, it's quality time. The quality time. Gifts don't matter, after a while. My sister would beg to differ, but I mean, like even now, Valentine's Day is coming up, and people think about a lot. How many times can we do the chocolate, the roses, the go out to dinner, do the champagne, and we've done it. I mean, and all of those times it's been wonderful, but it's the gifts. That's okay, but really, because after a while your life gets so busy, and then sometimes you look up and you're just going like this. You're in and out. And oh, when the baby comes, it's just gonna be, oh my God, so much. Little tip: when baby sleep, both of you better get some sleep, right? So, but what I enjoy is every now and again when it's quiet and the world has stopped and we don't have to be anything to anybody else, but just cuddle up and just lay there. We can look at TV. Really, TV starts to look at us, and we just go to and we just cuddle. I mean, the other part of all of that, that's good too, in its times. But I really enjoy just being close and just cuddling and just sitting there, just talking about the day or not talking about the day, or every now and again just looking up and saying, "Wow, it's been X number of years. You're still cute, and I still love you." Yes, I do. And then looking at the wonder of our children. And my daughter Deja just had a baby, so we just became grandparents. And it's like you think you can't love your kids. I mean, I'll fight a bear for my kids and win, right? So you think you can, okay, Deja, and you think you can't love your children anymore until that grandbaby comes. So we just sit and we just think we're so blessed. We're so blessed that God put us together when He put us together. We're different, but it fits so nice, and we enjoy each other's company. I don't know if I answered that right, but the 5 things, all of them are there, and some are more important, some are more than others at different times. But to me, what holds it together the most is that quiet quality time that we have when it's just us.
I love that. Mr. Rose, what would you say is your main one?
Okay. No, but I would also the quality time as well. I mean, like now, it could be a long day. It could be hectic. Day at work, and just to come in and a lot of times, like I said, I can just tell how she feels or how the day went, and so sometimes especially now with the COVID, we'll be here and we spend a lot of time, and so you're talking about 30, 37, 40 years totally. That's a lot to be around someone and say, wow, man, I'm getting tired of this, and I'm just saying this. But I'm saying, but so
We're getting a bit too honest for the cameras. We're getting a bit too. Don't get yourself in trouble now. I don't want you to get yourself.
I agree.
I love y'all.
Okay, she is such a lovable person.
Y'all are so funny to me. So, how would you say you overall have been able to learn to love each other through the ups and downs of life, through quality time? Like, how do you make that a priority in your relationship?
Well, it's easy. I mean, just like right now, I don't like conflicts, no drama, no issues, and all those type of things. And so right now, I like peace. I like the peacefulness. And so a lot of times, again, it's never a time that we go to bed and, we're angry or we have different conflicts and different that. We just make sure. And so, I just learned to keep the peace. And like I said, now, we love one another. And so I know what she likes and, she knows what I like. And, if we need certain touches, she knows what I like. I know what she likes. And so we just make it work. And like I said, it's, I come home and, sometimes if she's, no dinner's there's no problem. I'll make dinner. And a lot of times she comes home and she knows I'm making dinner. So she comes home and she said, what's for dinner? But, you do what you do and, you don't concern or worry about it. You just, and enjoy your life. And like I said, now, we are best friends and it makes it easy. And I know I'm looking at Deja. And what's your name again, sir?
Kenneth.
Kenneth. Okay, I got you. See, I always know Deja because that's her daughter. But Deja and Kenneth, right now, I'm looking at you guys and I'm seeing us when we first started.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, when we first started, and it's a great opportunity, and like I said, now to enjoy all these years, and like I said, it's when you get 1 decade, 2 decades, it is 4 decades, and we're still here, and pretty much sometimes you look in the mirror and you say, wow. I think Sylvia used to say this. I know I'm going off script, but she would say, "I said, man, we're getting old. We're getting older." But you said, well, what's your consequence? You can get older, or you can die. And so we choose to live, and like I said, now we're graceful, and we're in our she might want nobody to know it, but we're in our 60s. And she always says she's 29, but she's
I'm
not.
29 holding.
But I'm.
You
just,
look great.
Yeah, but this is what the new sister looks like.
Well, I'm gonna cut you out.
I'm not talking about it, but that's what it is.
I just want to share with them. Agree to disagree sometimes. After a while, he'll say, "Okay, Sylvia. Okay, Sylvia." But I'm like, no, I have to talk it out until it's out of my system. He'll be okay just to stop talking. But I said, Don, I don't want to be phony because I don't want to fester anything. So he'll, over time, we've learned to do that. When we were your age, the first 5 years, we had so much fun and laughed. And I was used to, I grew up with people arguing. And then I said this, I said, is something wrong? He said, what do you mean there's something wrong? I said, we never argue. We always laugh. I said, aren't you supposed to have some? He said, Sylvie, we don't have to argue. And I just started saying, well, it's okay. So obviously, God put this together on purpose, and we enjoyed it, and we just kept it real. And you're not going to like everything all the time, and we don't agree all the time, but we agree to disagree. And sometimes you just have to okay, and remember why you love that person. Look in those eyes and take yourself back to what it is that you really love about that person. I'll mess with him, but I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world.
I love that. I think that's amazing. And you answer my next question, which is about what advice you would want to give to this young couple. So that actually is just right on target. But for you all, what would you say is the main way that you prioritize each other's love language in your relationship?
I know.
Do you know what mine is?
Yes, I do know what yours is.
Oh, she said, I know. I pay attention.
I know what love language, but really love languages are acts of service and quality time. So it's the little things that matter to him. So I think it's small stuff. If he's cooking, if I come and help out in the kitchen, those things he appreciates, or it can be as small as putting the pillows on the couch or just checking in or bringing him lunch or something. Those are things I enjoy doing, those things, but I know it helps him out. And so I know small things that help him out that he doesn't want to think about, that he doesn't have to think about anymore. If I can do that, then I try to do that as much as possible. And then quality time for sure for both of us, because we like to be around each other. We could just sit in silence. And as long as I feel his energy, I feel very safe. I feel very comfortable.
Aww. Oh, that was great.
You like how I fold that up?
My chest got a little warm and everything. You know? I felt it. That was good. Thank you. And she knocked them out of the park. Both of those definitely are my love languages. Like, I'm so used to doing everything, like doing everything by myself or trying to like get everything organized. And just the little things that she does where I don't have to think about something, I just appreciate it. It could be something as simple as I'm cooking, she pick up a spatula and then wash it and then put it in the drawer. I'm like, thanks. I literally so happy because it's one thing I don't have to think about. My mind moves a million miles a minute, and she just knows when like I'm burnt and when to help me out with little stuff. So yeah, and the quality time. I think it's both of our love language. Really, I literally could. Like, this is my Friday night, and I would not do anything else. Like, I wouldn't be out at the club. I wouldn't be, talking to my friends, anything like that. I'd be watching some random show, some random movie that we found on HBO Max, and doing what we do and just hanging out. Like, this is the only thing I plan to do this weekend, just to hang out with her. And I would probably do this every weekend of the year. So I think quality time is important.
I love that. Make Valentine's weekend every day of the year. Y'all hear that? That is relationship advice for everyone. So, as we wrap up, I think I keep hearing both of you talk a lot about like the importance of having a purpose within your relationship and like loving how the other person helps you to like find and discover what your purpose is on the earth. So, can you tell me what you would say if you could describe your purpose together, like in one word or in one sentence? What would it be?
You come with the heat. Good God, that was a good question.
That was good.
Need a moment.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, repeat the question one more time.
What?
I was saying, what would you say is the purpose behind your relationship together? Like, what would you say is the main purpose behind your relationship? And just in general, you were talking about before purpose and the importance of having purpose in the relationship, and they were talking about how the other person brings out your purpose and helps you to discover and find your purpose. So what would you say is your purpose together? That is my question. Like your purpose for being together.
Okay, if you're ready, you can go.
No, go.
Okay, I think is to help one another live our best life, be our best self, not only to each other, but to those that we love. And all along the journey, even though we might think, as you said, we've done a lot of things, but to continue to grow together and just live our very best life and keep each other happy and for as long as we can. Remember all the little things, the children. What we do is now you don't take things for granted. You look around and just realize how blessed you are every single day. And so our purpose together is to remember what brought us together in the first place and just keep building on that for the rest of our lives.
That was.
He is always joking.
Anyway, that's not what I think. Can I go? Can I go now?
Okay. You can go.
Okay. So basically, and I know the question. Our purpose. And I think that us coming together was by accident. It was a lot of young ladies out there. There was a lot of young men out there. Okay. But somehow we chose one another. And what we've done over the years. People always say, Don, Sylvia, and we're turned into our parents. I mean, it's like. We are like the rock solid couple that people look up to, that our nieces and nephews and friends and so forth, and they always know that when they see us that we're gonna be positive. I mean, what comes out of us, both of us, is just straightforward honesty, charisma, and we just be ourselves. And I think that we, not doing it on purpose, but I think sometimes people see us and they say, wow, that's, we want to do that. We want to be able to be like that. Look what they have. Look how long they have. And, they're always smiling. They're always laughing. They're always joking. And, and like I said, now, there's so much peace inside. I mean, no matter what's going on, Corona and all that kind of stuff, it hasn't dampened us at all. I mean, we wear our masks and we keep our 6 feet and we laugh. And but I'm just thankful that they put us together and they allowed us to be, examples of what true love is, what true honesty. And like I said, now I wouldn't trade in. I mean, right now, sometimes she said, Don, what about this? What about that? Right now, you're who you are, and I'm who I am. And
The dog did this.
yeah, so we're just thankful that this is the dog. He wants to see y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh wow, we get a visitor. I love it.
yeah. So we're just thankful. But anyway, I'm just thankful that we're one, and that's what I think of us as being one. It's not two. We're one.
I think that is I think that is such a beautiful way to phrase it because at the end of the day, when you merge your lives with another person, you literally become one. Everything that you have is no longer your own. You have to take this other person into consideration for everything that you do. And so being able to get to a place where you say you're at peace with that and it has made you in your relationship and your marriage stronger, I think that is such a beautiful testament to so many people who are out there wanting to, you know, keep up the good fight and keep the faith and keep the hope alive that this is out there and that love is available to them. So I don't know about you all since you are a younger couple and you're just now getting started on this road together, but what would you say just as of now, what has been your purpose together thus far?
I don't mind. You go first.
I can go first. I would say I think our purpose together. I'll say two. One, to show what it is to be young and spiritually connected. To show like what it is to really love God at such a young age. And then two, I'd say to show that this is not the picture perfect idea of what people think love is. I think sometimes love is over romanticized. Marriage especially is highly publicized as something beautiful. And yeah, there's your 7 year, gap. There's the 3 year hump and the midlife crisis and everything like that. But they don't talk about the journey of all of it together. And I think we are just both in a place of we don't want to put on a show for anybody and just show them like, look, this ain't easy. Some days it's hard. Some days it's rough, but it's a commitment. And there are a lot of down days as there are beautiful days. And I think our purpose together is to show that it's just a matter of just staying in the fight daily. It's not, posting every single time something beautiful happens or making sure that the world just sees you for, the Instagram cloud or anything like that. It's to show that even, back when I look at my parents, like I never saw my parents argue, not once. It wasn't until I got older where I really learned that they did a lot of stuff behind closed doors. And I had to learn some of that stuff on like my own, like how to deal with it in a relationship. Like I just saw my parents as being this beautiful couple that always got along. But I think I'm more intentional just by showing like, hey, this is just the pure rawness of not let everyone inside your business and inside your life, but just showing like, hey, yeah, it's a work in progress. It's a continuous daily thing. It's just showing the world like you just got to be in it to fight.
That's so good. Deja, you want to share? I love what you said thus far.
I think mine is that I know he loves somebody more than me, and that's God. And that's something that I really value and cherish. And I think in the beginning, I didn't necessarily understand that concept of having a man who loves God more than he loves me. But I think our purpose just between us is to love each other like God loves us. And we always talk about like agape love and how it's unconditional, and how, God loves us when we're, not qualified, when we're broken. And I want to love him that way too. And I want him to love me that way.
I love that. Meet him where he is and he meets you where you are. I think that's absolutely a wonderful way to describe what love should be in its purest form. And my last question, because I know we have to go and I keep saying that, but I do want to talk about Hampton really quickly before we wrap this up, because this is the Hampton edition version of HBCU Love. What would you say is the most impactful part of Hampton's legacy? And what do you cherish the most about being a part of that?
You are former Miss Hampton.
Oh, okay. We have Miss Hampton in the building. I would love to hear from a Miss Hampton, a former Miss Hampton.
Oh my gosh. He's just telling everything. What is the most impactful thing about the legacy of the relationship? Put it in perspective once again for me.
Yes, what would you say is the most impactful part of Hampton's legacy? And what do you cherish about your connection to that legacy?
Well, what I love about the legacy of Hampton is the bonds that we were able to build there. Um, I think a lot of people, some of their most cherished memories there, and even us with our friends, how our friends have blended and become our extended family. I think with the HBCUs in general, and Hampton in particular, it was a wonderful, close knit. Um, um, I don't know, a chance to just see a lot of us who look, not only just look like us, but a lot of us with similar goals and similar things. Most of our friends, our true friends that we met at Hampton, they our kids think I mean, when they were little, they thought they were their real true aunties and uncles, And then when they got older, and my sister said, well, I thought, Grandma, that you only had 4 kids, and all of it. I mean, so that kind of family bond kind of thing, that legacy of how we have that Hampton love, the Hampton hug, that it's something you really can't describe, and it has flowed over into our personal lives. We have so much, so many memories, so many stories, so many Hampton homecomings, so many reunions, so many times to go back there. And it reminds, every time I walk from one side of the campus to the other, I look at the chapel and I remember, wow, we got married there. We rode around. We met here. We got married there. I didn't think we would come back and work there most of our life. That was not in the plan. But God had his plan. I mean, we went full circle. And so Hampton is just a very intricate part of both of our lives.
I love it. Do you guys want to add on and share to that as well about your your Hampton legacy and your connection to that?
I would definitely agree with like the relationships and the bonds that you gain at Hampton. I mean, our closest friends, the godparents of our daughter, they went to Hampton with us. We met them there. We met there. But for me, I think it's just that Hampton truly does like put you on a journey of self-discovery of who you are and what you want to be. And I learned how to be dependent on somebody. I learned how to be independent. I learned, what I love and what I don't love. And I truly don't think you can get that kind of experience as a Black woman at any other school or any other institution than an HBCU. And Hampton specifically, it pushes you. Like, I think the people who graduate from Hampton, you have to be made from a different cloth to truly like go and thrive. And I'm thankful that I was able to go through every up and down that I did, because it's made me the woman that I am. It's going to help me in the mother I'm going to be. So I'm just proud that I'm a part of that legacy.
Aw.
That's so good. So beautiful. I almost shed a tear. So before I start crying, y'all can add your 2 cents.
I think I'd agree. True.
He's just like, yeah.
No,
Ditto.
well, I think for my senior year project for Honors College, the cover was the rose that grew through the concrete. And I think that is what Hampton does. It may not be pretty, it may not be easy, but if you come through it, you will be that much more valuable to the world because you know how to tackle anything that the world throws at you. I am teaching in a pandemic with a kid on the way and about to be a husband. The world is going a million different directions at once, but my journey at Hampton taught me how to handle it, and also to know I don't have to handle it alone, and I can do it with her. So, yeah.
Okay.
I love it, Mr. Rose. You want to add your closing remarks?
Well, Hampton is way up there when I come to measure different things. Not in a million years did Sylvia and I think that once we graduated that, she said earlier that we would come back and, work at Hampton. And not only we come back, but, I've given Hampton additional 30 years. And I think you are like 20.
29 and holding. Keep telling your story.
So you're like 28 years or whatever. But, and I know sometimes she would say, because, she had, she finance and she had the law degree, and, I played professional football and I was a head coach and this and that and so forth and all that kind of stuff. And she would say sometimes, Don, are we sure that, we could have been in corporate America, we could have done this, we could have done that. I said, Sylvia, I said, what we've done, it's no accident. God placed us back here, and it was the reason why we're here together. And, both of us have had numerous positions since we've been at Hampton. And Sylvia's had, she was the first general counsel. And so, but anyway, it was a lot of reasons why that we were here, and we set the bar. And so now it's easy. I mean, it's so many people that we've touched, so many people that we helped, that we assisted, that, we provided counseling and, support and love, and, and so, when people come back, it's almost like when you go by and you see the Booker T statue, you'll see a statue of Don and Sylvia, because because we've been there for so long, and people, when they come back, they know that I know not now because we're virtual.
They're not gonna see a statue of me.
I know, but I'm saying, but they know that.
No legacy park for y'all.
Yeah, so long. Yeah, but anyway, we're walking statues.
I like that. I like the way he put that. We are walking statues because y'all are a part of Hampton's history and legacy. And that's a beautiful way to just sum it up. And I just want to thank you all for agreeing to join me tonight and share your stories and your journey with me. And what would you say for these young couples out here that are looking to figure out how to navigate life for these college relationships and undergrad? How do you encourage them? Any last piece of words or last pieces of advice that you want to share?
One of the things I would say is when you're together, be together. Be in your moment. A lot of things I try to say with young kids, doesn't say you all get together and you're having a special time, but everybody's sitting there in their cell phone. Right? Turn it off. Be in the moment. Talk. Relate, to one another. And because you never know when you're going to get that time together. Don't put on facades. Like he said, just be real, be real with everything you do and with the relationship, and be truthful, but definitely take the time to get out of the devices, get off of social media. There's a time and place for it. Really take the moment to be in the moment. Look in those eyes. Look in those eyes. Look in those eyes and really make the time you have together count. You guys are just at such a beautiful point in your life. I just see now we're gonna be connected forever. You know that now. We're gonna be auntie and uncle, right? And so we're gonna have to know all of that. I'm gonna have to let you meet my Deja. But at any rate, and Kenneth, what a oh my gosh, we're looking at you guys and we sort of see ourselves. We really do. And the sky is the limit. Just keep that realness with one another and it'll take you far. And yes, I used to feel the same thing, like with well, no, my mom, she was like me, she was young, but I started doing that, trying to keep, like if Don and I had a little disagreement, I would go, just sort of like what I'm doing right now. But then after a while, you say, you know what? We don't want to build this facade to let them think all the time it's going to be just peaches and cream. It is how you get through some of the difficult times that really makes your relationship even stronger, right? Because everything's not going to be, but if you get through the and you say, you know what, I still love you. You're still my best friend. And we're in this together. That's what really matters.
Ditto.
Well said, sir.
Well said.
I know you guys are younger, but I still would love to hear what pieces of advice you have to share with the people.
I mean, I would agree. I think the biggest one for me is to just younger couples. I think like early in our relationship, we were so focused on being like relationship goals for ourselves and other people that we lost sight of what our relationship goals were. And so I would say stop trying to be like relationship goals for other people because we don't want to be. We want to be our own relationship goals. And if people look up to us or admire what we do or what they see from our relationship, that's fine. But I think it's just we're not as intentional about it being like a perfect relationship goal facade on social media or whatever. So that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Ditto.
I like that.
He's trying to give you some.
Yes. And on that note, I just want to say thank you again. And I love every single piece of advice you all have shared, every piece of your story and your journey that has showed up tonight and that you have shared tonight.
You did a great job.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say, I think going forward that this is just going to strengthen your journey, being able to have this moment of reflection, especially during this time for love, is going to help to strengthen your journey, especially while you're preparing for the birth of your child. And I'm just so glad that you all have allowed me to be a part of your journey and open up your homes and your stories and your hearts to me. I appreciate that. And I definitely want to continue to help others to know that this is not the end. I'm definitely going to be sharing other stories and other love stories for Hampton couples that have been through undergrad and that have met post-grad and just show you just the whole range of couples that we have within Hampton's beautiful legacy. And yeah, I just wanted to end on that note and share that. But if you guys have anything else that you want to say before we close out, you can.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Rose and Dr. Ms. Rose. Y'all have been so great. I love it.
And Lydia, I just want to say that, you did a fantastic job and, that's the next Oprah Winfrey.
Wow. Big shoes to fill. I'm humble.
Oh, this was so much fun. Thank you for inviting us and let us share. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to take a look at our old selves as we look at them and at that younger people. We wish you guys so much. So, and Lydia, like I said, just thank you. This was really fun. It kind of got a million things to do and I've got to stay up and get ready for this and do that. But you know what? It was nice just to relax take a trip down memory lane and don't think about all the cares in the world. And I wanted to ask one question if I could. How far along are you, Deja?
I'll be 8 months on Sunday.
Oh, you absolutely look wonderful. Nothing changed. Isn't that right, Kenneth? Nothing
Literally, it's beautiful. She's done such a great job. I tell everyone that she's done a great job just maintaining her health, and she just looks, basically the same. The only thing, she got the baby in there. That's really it.
Well, God bless you all, and God bless your unions, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye.
All right.
Connect.
Be safe and well.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
too.